Hi everybody, I'm 10 Tampa Bay Chief Meteorologist Bobby Deskins. We are seeing some extremely high tides out at Clearwater Beach today. This is our Wyndham Grand camera on top of the Wyndham Grand, of course, looking at Clearwater Beach. This is looking towards the south end of the beach. I'm going to go ahead and zoom out just a little bit so you can kind of see what we're looking at here. We have a combination of astronomical tides, high tides that are running forecasted to be about 3 feet, a little over 3 feet, which is high for us. We typically see tides in the 1 to 2 foot range. But the way the moon is right now, we've got forecasted astronomically high tides, plus we've got a lot of wind out of the west-southwest, and we have high tide at about 12:49 p.m. this afternoon, which is, well, that was 10 minutes ago. So you can see what's happening here at Clearwater Beach. They've been moving back at least some of those dark blue umbrellas, and that's actually down towards the Opal Sands area, and we've seen some of this movement here up towards the central part of the beach as well too. We're still south of Pier 60 at this point, but you can see how we've seen quite a bit of wave action there out on the coast so far today. So this the winds will actually come down a little bit as we go through the afternoon hours, but it's just going to take a little while. So high tide, tide's dropping slowly, ever so slowly right now, but we're not seeing a whole lot of flooding as you get up closer to the pier. This is taking us, I'm going to show you Pier 60 here in just a minute. So not a typical, not a bad thing going on here. It's just a little atypical for us to get this much wind with a high tide at the same time. There's Pier 60 for you, as you can see there. But one of the hardest hit areas is down there towards the south end of the beach. I'm going to go back down there right now so you can kind of get a look at it. There's the bigger picture now. So you can see, just look at that high tide line. You can see down here towards the south end of the beach, down in this area right in here. See all that? That's where we have some of the highest water levels there. So I figured I would just kind of check in with you, let you know what's going on there. Let's zoom back down in here to this area. Keep in mind, if you do head out to the beach tomorrow, I do expect winds to be similar, and I do expect the tide to be similar as well too. So we're not going to see a huge change in what we're seeing out there right now. Let me show you just real fast what the winds are looking like now. And you can see that they're gusting to 30 miles per hour out at Clearwater Beach, sustained in the upper teens to near 20, gusting to 29 in St. Petersburg too. So and obviously you see that wind direction is from the west-southwest, so that's going to be pushing that water up. If you look at the tide times for today, that very first one on the left, that's the high tide we just passed, and you see it's 3.13 feet. That's high. So we're dropping over 3 feet by the time we get towards about 8:30 tonight. So the tide's really going to drop. That's what's forecast to happen as far as the moon goes. I don't expect it to get that low because we will lower the wind, right? But we still have a lot of water that's been pushed up along the coast, so the tides are going to be running a little bit above average. Even low tide won't be quite as low as it normally would. If you look at the winds for the next 12 hours, you can see that they do start to come down, especially after about 5 to 6 o'clock this evening, right? But if you look at the winds for tomorrow, I think that's this here, they're coming right back up. Now, a touch less than today, not by much. Same wind direction as well, so I would expect that the same issue, we would have the same issue for tomorrow. Now let me show you, let me go ahead and kind of inside baseball here. I want to show you the tides for tomorrow. This will fix that up, because that high tide, I'll just read it for you right here. High tide tomorrow afternoon, 3.02, and that's at 1:27 in the afternoon. So that means tomorrow afternoon at around 1:30 or so, we're going to end up with another high tide. See that? 3.02. Now that's lower astronomically than what we had out there today, but it's in the ballpark. And as I showed you, the winds will be very similar as well too. So back out to the camera now. You can see all the water A lot of wet towels out there today, right? People weren't quite planning on this. Also, if you notice in the upper left-hand corner here, there's that flag. When you head down to the beach, it's always a good idea to head over to the lifeguard tower and see what flags are flying. They can explain it to you. I mean, obviously, the threat today is rip currents because we have all those waves out there. It's, you know, it's not typical for us to see the surf that we're seeing out there for today, but that's actually pretty fun for surfers, that's for sure, and the kids love it as well too. But please be very careful and watch for rip currents out there today. Rip currents are channels of water that actually are flowing out, away from the beach, towards the ocean, right? See all those waves moving over the sandbar? There's actually a sandbar sitting right out here where the waves are breaking. But the waves are larger from the winds, and so it's pushing a lot of water up onto the beach here. That water needs to go back out, right? Just physics. And what it does is it looks for a break in the sandbar and channels all that water right out through it. I haven't actually seen one today. I'm kind of watching this area right in here. See where the waves are breaking? That's not a rip current. That's not either. But this little area right in here, I haven't seen a whole lot of waves breaking. And there could actually be a little rip current in there. Normally the water's kind of worked up just a little bit, so you can kind of see it. It's a little more turbid, and you can actually see the flow of the water moving out offshore. Not seeing that right now. But that's it. Just thought I'd give you an idea of what really good high tides look like out at Clearwater Beach today. I'm going to zoom in closer on some of these people. Kids are going to be loving it, of course. Yeah, nice pond to lay in. Water temperature, by the way, is 87 degrees. We hit 90 almost a month ago. It cooled a little bit, but it's come back up. And with the westerly winds, very warm lows, you know, low temperatures end up being basically in the upper 70s to near 80 in the morning because the wind's coming in off the water, and the water's 87 degrees. And so that kind of all works together to keep things getting warmer and more humid. See the waves coming over the jetty there on the south end, Clearwater Pass. Okay, that's it, guys. Just want to give you an idea what it looks like out there. Have a great afternoon. We'll be on 1010.